Good morning. One day left till Thanksgiving. We talked about all the travel yesterday. We've got another very travel-centric kind of weather desk going on today, but some other incredible stories to share with you from around the world. You know, the weather desk every weekday morning, Monday through Friday at 9 o'clock, we cover the top weather headlines from Hampton Roads, from across the region in the Mid-Atlantic, across the country and around the world. And we've got some really wild stuff to share with you this morning. A lot of it, though, around all the folks hitting the roads and taking to the skies with the travel. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller, and we're broadcasting from the 13 News Now studios here in Norfolk, Virginia. That's for Southeast Virginia, Northeast North Carolina. But truly, with the 13 News Now Plus and the power of the internet, we go international and all across the country, certainly tons of viewership. So let's get into our headlines because we are focusing right off the bat on that stormy holiday travel yesterday. Remember, we were talking about tornadic damage near Houston a couple days ago. Well, there was some more damage down across the deep south. We're going to show you that. We also have video of dramatic water rescues. Now, there was an accident with a couple teenagers found themselves in some rushing water. That was late last week, but we've got video now from the dash cam as they pulled them from the rushing waters to safety. Great story there. But the other water rescue we're going to share with you, it blew my mind when I saw it. They used a drone to pull a farmer from floodwaters. They could not access him any other way. The water was coming up. So they had a drone come down. He held onto the drone and they pulled him out. So we've got video of that. I think you're really going to go, wow, is this the way we're going? Drones to rescue people. It worked. Very cool. So we'll check that out. Again, some really interesting video to share with you on that. Now, in addition, we're also going to talk about the national travel and holiday outlook today and into tomorrow. Talk about the weekend as well. I also have a story that our chief meteorologist, Tim Panday, just did on Thanksgiving extremes here in Hampton Roads. So if you are in the southeast part of Virginia or northeast North Carolina, that's a little more focused on the weather right here. But this national travel and holiday outlook, I also have a look ahead with the extended modeling. And we're going to talk about not only travel heading into the holiday weekend, but the next storm system on the heels of the holiday weekend, how that may impact you if you are out somewhere or hosting somewhere, hosting folks from other places as they have to go back late in the weekend. You definitely want to stay tuned for more on that. We also have colder air coming in. How long will it last in the Mid-Atlantic? We'll talk about that in that extended forecast. So plenty to go over with you this morning, and we're going to start off with this stormy holiday travel. Now, yesterday, again, a rough go. We're still looking at unsettled weather from an area of low pressure here. There's another area of low pressure here. Basically, two frontal boundaries that are going to come in. But with all of the rushing around, here we are in the middle of this holiday travel rush. Weather in parts of the country really making it complicated, and it's going to be tough for the millions of Americans hitting the roads or hopping a flight over the holidays. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
This morning, severe storms causing treacherous travel conditions for the Thanksgiving rush. Weather warnings issued across the region with up to 9 inches of snow possible from North Dakota to Michigan. In the south, torrential rain and thunderstorms slamming several states. This tractor trailer veering off I-95 in Chesterfield County, Virginia, exploding into a fireball. Southbound lanes shut down for hours, the driver now facing reckless driving charges. At Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, the air traffic control tower had to partially evacuate over concerns about a possible tornado.
The tower is evacuating and going down to minimal staffing due to a possible tornado over the airport.
The skies darkening, but no tornado reported. Meanwhile, today, powerful wind gusts are expected from Chicago to Cleveland, which could cause delays at airports already packed with holiday crowds.
Very, very busy. It's very busy right now.
As for the roughly 73 million people hitting the roads this Thanksgiving, some good news. Gas prices have dropped below $3 a gallon in these 29 states, nearly the lowest prices in 4 years.
OPEC has continued to increase or restore oil production for much of this year. So as we get closer to Christmas, I think the news will continue to improve.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
So as we take a look at what's happening nationally here, again, you can see the snow flying up in the Northeast. There's basically two areas of low pressure and the two fronts that are going to push through the mid-Atlantic. One cooling us down later today into tomorrow. So that front will come through, and out ahead of it, this is why we are so warm this morning. We've got south and southwest winds. So that one comes through. There's a second reinforcing shot of cold air coupled with this high pressure building in. That's going to bring in sweeping colder air from the north and keep us really chilly Friday into Saturday. So we'll get into all of that. Now, Rena Roy just mentioned up in North Dakota around Fargo. Let's get a closer look. You saw the snow here. This is the loop, and I'll go ahead and let it play one more time so you can see that heavier snow around Fargo. A lot of it there. Dash cam video from first responders near Fargo captured a close call on the roads. It shows the moment a pickup truck barely misses hitting a North Dakota state trooper and two firefighters who were assisting drivers who had skidded off the highway. Remember, whether it's snowing or not, if you ever see flashing lights on the side of a highway, you should slow down and move over if you are able to. So important, and thank goodness those first responders are all okay. Very dramatic video there. All right, we're going to turn our attention from the Fargo area and that snow you just saw back down to Texas. You remember down around Houston, and just north of Houston, there's a small town, Klein. We're going to take a look at some of that video from yesterday, as we got that yesterday from the previous day, where they are still cleaning up from the tornado that touched down in that area on Monday. This is a look at the damage. This is Harris County, and that twister damaged more than 100 homes. Fortunately, there were no reported injuries, but many of those families had planned to host Thanksgiving dinner and are now trying to figure out a new place to go. Here's one neighbor recounting the moment the twister passed over his home.
Sitting at home working, all of a sudden screaming at home, my wife. Windows shatters, broken, roof is flying over. I see a 4x4 flying through the windows into the house. Luckily, the 4x4 just went through the window, is not where she was, the window was next to that. So it just came maybe a few feet away from her.
And here's a look one more time at the radar. Right there, you can see Klein in the center part of the screen as we take a look. Let's go back to Max 1 here just so I can show everybody what was going on. Here's the town of Klein right here. And then we have this little notch right here around 130 Central. And it was this area right here that had that tornado that passed over that area doing that damage. You can see how quickly it kind of came right over that area around 140, 145, and then through the area by 150, it was passing by. But that was a tornado that did that damage. All right, so at least one tornado has been confirmed, but there's a second unconfirmed tornado that may have also touched down nearby. We'll continue to watch that and see if they do confirm a second tornado. But some really dramatic video there from Texas with the tornadic damage. As we take a look at what else was going on, I want to take you to Alabama. They are also picking up in Alabama north of Birmingham. After strong storms slammed that part of the state. Now, this is a look at the aftermath, the small community, Mount Olive, and again, it's just north of Birmingham. Heavy rain, powerful winds, toppled trees and power lines. Some of those trees smashed into homes, and first responders had to rescue some people who became trapped. Churches in the community are now stepping up to provide shelter to those with significant damages to their home.
That's just being a good neighbor, right? That's what's, and of course, us as Christians, we certainly believe that's something we should do. When we have the availability to help someone, we believe we should be able to do that and to show the love of Christ. But also, just as a neighbor in the community, when a neighbor needs help, you should absolutely just, even if it does seem like an interruption in your schedule, it really isn't, because people matter most.
Fortunately, no deaths have been reported during these storms either, so some good news there. Now we're going to pull back a little bit and zoom into another part of the region. How about northern Mississippi, where a water rescue was caught on tape? We're going into this county here just south of Memphis. Take a look at this. This happened actually Friday morning in DeSoto County. And again, that's just south of Memphis, so about 15 minutes away. Captain John Bigham says he saw a car go off the road and into a ravine. There were 2 teenagers inside heading to school. Captain Bigham says he had no time to grab any of his gear, but jumped into action right away, worried that the teens would be swept away with the high water if he waited.
They didn't even know they were in water. They thought they were still on the road because everything happened so quick. I'm not waiting for backup. You know, it's just like in any other situation, not that this has happened or hopefully it won't ever happen here, but if we have an active shooter, we're not waiting for backup. If we're there, we're going. I was in the right place at the right time with the right training.
Wow, good to know those teenagers were able to get out okay before that car got swept farther down that ravine. The DeSoto County Sheriff's Office says this marks their 3rd water rescue this year. All right, we told you about that rescue. Well, there's another one that you have to see, but we really got to do some traveling to get to this next water rescue. We're going to head back over to Vietnam, and it's been central Vietnam that's been dealing with just historic flooding. It's been incredible how much rain they've had in the central part of Vietnam. Well, take a look at this. Rescue crews used a drone to rescue a farmer trapped by floodwaters. That man had been working on his farm when he got cut off by the rising river. Rescue crews resorted to using a drone after realizing the water was flowing too fast to get him by boat. This is just the latest round of flooding in Vietnam. The country has been hit by 14 storms and 5 tropical depressions since the start of the year, causing more than $3 billion in damage. 409 people have died and more than 700 others have been injured. Incredible. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some more about the upcoming Thanksgiving, how it's shaping up, and of course the holiday travel weather today and into Thanksgiving. And we're also going to take a look back at some of the extremes that we've dealt with right here in Hampton Roads as we look at our Thanksgivings. That's all coming up after this 2-minute break. Welcome back. Just one day until Thanksgiving, counting down the time. You can almost smell the dressing Taste the gravy. Ah, so good. The turkey, excited about all this stuff. Well, whether you're traveling for Thanksgiving or staying close to home, you're going to be keeping an eye on the weather. Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandages breaks down some of the Thanksgiving extremes Hampton Roads has seen on Turkey Day.
Head into Thanksgiving, you may be wondering what kind of weather we've seen in the past here in Hampton Roads. Well, Thanksgiving weather can be all over the place, and the records at Norfolk certainly prove that to be so. Let's take a look at some of the most extreme Thanksgiving days we've ever had. First up, the warmest Thanksgiving on record. Back in 1985, Norfolk warmed all the way up to 80 degrees. That's right, short sleeves, sunshine. It felt almost like a late summer afternoon instead of late November. On the other end of the spectrum, the coldest Thanksgiving temperature we've ever recorded came way back in 1892 when the temperature dropped to 25 degrees. A freezing holiday morning across the region, definitely a day for the heavier winter coats. As for precipitation, the rainiest Thanksgiving didn't happen all that long ago. In 1992, we picked up 1.77 inches of rain. That would have made for a very soggy trip to Grandma's house. And while Thanksgiving snow is extremely rare around here, it has happened. The snowiest Thanksgiving on record for Norfolk was 1912, when a whole ½ inch of snow fell. Not a major storm, but it's the only measurable Thanksgiving snow on the books. So whether it's been warm, cold, wet, or even a little snowy, Thanksgiving in Hampton Roads has brought just about everything over the years.
Tim, thank you so much. How about this year's Thanksgiving for Hampton Roads? We're going to see a lot more sunshine. Temperatures will top out in the low 50s. It's going to be mostly sunny, maybe a few thin clouds during the afternoon, but a lot of sunshine. It will be cool, but nice. And we are going to talk about the chances for even colder weather. It's coming for Friday and Saturday, so we'll have more on that. Let's get back to the travel situation across the region and around the country. This is what a lot of folks have been waiting to see. You know, we've got snow back across the Great Lakes region. I'll put this into motion here and loop this over the last few hours. You can see how that area of low pressure is kind of pulling that cold air back around the backside of the system. And once that cold air flow moves across the Great Lakes region, we are in for quite a bit of lake effect snow up around the Great Lakes and coming off to the south and to the southeast of the Great Lakes. So I think areas like Cleveland and Buffalo, Rochester, some of those areas will be seeing more lake effect snow and really kind of blustery conditions into the holiday weekend. Right now, just rain showers up across parts of the Northeast. You can see New York State dealing with that as we take a look down to the south. Pennsylvania still seeing some showers. The heavy rain that we got earlier in Hampton Roads, that has pulled off to the Northeast. And now we're just left with some spotty showers, but we're not quite done with them yet. I still expect some more scattered wet weather. You can see this line of showers extends down through South Carolina and even into Georgia. There's still some areas with some unsettled weather down that way. Now, much of the country is actually pretty quiet. You can see there are some more areas with some light snow working down. Parts of the northern Rockies seeing some snow this morning, a little more moisture streaming into the northwest. Let's talk about travel delays. And what I want to do, let me explain what we're doing here. Here's the map. This is a great map. I love what we can do with this. You see the various things that can create travel delays here on the screen. There's rain, snow, ice, fog, wind, or we can show all of the different hazards combined. This is a look at potential travel delays. Areas in green, you don't really have much to worry about there, nothing significant. Areas in yellow, there could be some minor travel delays. Where you get into areas of red, that's where it becomes more moderate, and then major in areas of purple. So we can take this full, and you'll notice I'm going to manipulate these different symbols here over to the other side. So as I click on snow, for instance, you're going to see in those areas right now with snow highlighted, these are the areas that will be impacted greatly. As I mentioned, we've got that area of low pressure producing a lot of snow around the arrowhead of Minnesota, northern sections of Wisconsin, and back up into the UP, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Back across portions of the northern Rockies from around Jackson Hole on northward, some snow there, moderate travel delays, potentially with some of that heavier activity. But notice how much of the rest of the country obviously doesn't have to worry about snow. It's too warm. Some areas down south do have rain concerns, like southern Florida. And again, this is through midday today. As we take you later today, and we go ahead and advance it here, you'll notice more likely moderate travel delays down across South Florida. We also have the potential for additional issues related to snow in the Great Lakes region in the Northeast. And then as we get into early Thursday, still largely snow related, those issues as far as rain goes, really not as much, and much of the country here in great shape. That's for early Thursday. As we head through midday and into late Thursday, we still have more issues along the northern tier, but look at how much of the southern and central U.S. is in great shape as far as the travel goes there on the Friday and late Thursday into early Friday time period. We really are looking good. Okay, we're going to get into the travel forecast, and up and down the East Coast, we're looking at temperatures really mild early today. It's going to turn cooler late. Boston and New York City, some clouds, temperatures upper 50s to near 60. Breezy at Cleveland. I'll give you a little spoiler alert on Cleveland. They are going to see some snow over this holiday weekend. Right now, still mild and breezy there. Down in Atlanta, we mentioned the delays at Hartsfield-Jackson, the airport there, so busy. They had a ground stop yesterday with storms. Today, they're much, much better. Showers down to the south, but Atlanta looking good. 85 for Orlando, 70 in New Orleans. That snow up across the northern tier of the north central U.S. there. Minneapolis to Chicago, chances for snow. Mid-30s in Chicago, mid-40s in St. Louis, mid-50s in Little Rock, and a little warmer down towards Houston, 69 there. Generally good once you get south of that snow up in the north central part of the country. Northwest U.S., a little bit of snow flying up around Billings. I think about Whitefish and Kalispell, some of the great areas up in the mountains there in western parts of Montana. Beautiful country. Back down through Wyoming and into Colorado, Utah. Looks better as you go farther south as far as travel goes. 52 in Salt Lake City, 77 in Phoenix. Sunshine there, mostly sunny in L.A. 67, good in Vegas. Maybe a few sprinkles in San Francisco and Seattle. Pretty blustery. Now, here's a look at the Futurecast, and this is kind of a more detailed model. This is the graph model. It just shows you the national picture. We've got our chances for a few showers here, but these showers will move on through, and then we're going to see clearing skies this afternoon and into the evening. Skies are going to clear for much of the southeast and down along the Gulf Coast. As we look across the southwest U.S., things are looking good. Our next storm system coming into the northwest, and we've still got that area of low pressure pulling some snow and colder air around the backside of that system. As we get into our Thanksgiving around midday, still looking beautiful here. These are just high clouds back over the mountains. A little bit of cloud cover, still snow around the Great Lakes. Much of the country, very quiet, wet in the northwest. We'll take a look at later Thursday. Still looking great, looking good for your early Friday morning as well. Doorbusters, lots of quiet conditions up and down the East Coast, so you know a lot of folks will be getting out and enjoying this long holiday weekend. Very nice across the southern, really 2/3 of the country. The only unsettled weather around the Great Lakes and the northern parts of the country back to the northwest. Snow for Montana, more wet weather, Oregon and Washington. So that's for your Friday morning. Now, I wanted to show you an extended outlook here. And this is the GFS model, one of our global models. Again, the rain moves out. We've talked about this on Thursday. It's still looking good. This very much in line with the graph model that I just showed you. So this global model picks up the storm system coming in there. But what I wanted to do with this goes out farther than the graph model does. We've got a developing storm system that's going to take shape over the weekend out west and then eventually track through the central U.S. Our next big weather maker coming up Saturday afternoon, snow potentially across the north central U.S. from portions of Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan, back across Wisconsin, Illinois, in Iowa, back up into Minnesota, back through eastern portions of Nebraska and Kansas. Rain snow line right across Missouri, St. Louis on the cusp there, maybe some snow late Saturday, rain down to the south. This system is coming eastward later in the weekend. So if you have travel plans, maybe you're going to return home on Sunday, or if you're hosting family or friends that are in town right now and through the holidays, start looking at this if they're going to be traveling back on Sunday. Here's where we are Sunday morning. That low pressure right over Michigan, trailing front down here, showers and stronger storms down along the Gulf Coast. This is going to press eastward on Sunday, and eventually rain and snow for parts of the Northeast, scattered showers and maybe some stronger storms right along the Gulf Coast, Florida Panhandle, those areas, and a little more snow back across portions of the Wasatch Range and back into the Rockies out in Utah and Colorado. Looking out at the West Coast, still looking pretty good there, but I did want to give you that heads up on Sunday. As we get into Monday, chances for more wet weather, and I really expect some enhancement of that rain with this area here just off the coast, and another area coming into play early Tuesday, more rain through the area. And now we're looking at this system tapping some colder air and maybe producing some snow down through the Northeast. So we'll see. Again, here in Hampton Roads, warmer. We're going to see rain, but northern parts of Virginia, Tuesday night, we could get some snow up that way, and into Pennsylvania, New York, certainly better chances for snow up that way. That's what I wanted to take time to show you here on the Weather Desk. Again, this is good stuff with more time to dive in and take a little closer look at some of this extended stuff. When we do a normal 3-minute cast, during a news broadcast, we hardly have time to get to all that because we have to get to everything else. Love the Weather Desk. Hopefully you do as well. Please let your friends know about us so they can start enjoying the Weather Desk as well right here on 13 Plus and on YouTube. These black dots you see out in the water here, those are surfers. Temperatures this morning are in the low to mid 60s. The waves not too great, but we're getting a few waves, and we've had a light southwest wind cleaning up those wave surfaces, and that's why surfers are like, hey, I got maybe a spring suit or a wetsuit. Water temperature starting to cool down into the 50s again, so they definitely want something out there, but it's not a bad day. 67. Here's the Thompson Creek Window Company sky view from beach quarters. It looks pretty good. Out on the ocean water, we will see, I think, eventually those winds picking up a little bit later. Gusts to maybe 20. It hasn't been too windy so far. Small craft advisory conditions expected later tonight on the bay. All right, here's the forecast for the next 9 hours. Our temperatures are going to be holding in the low 70s. We'll warm up just a little bit and then fall off later in the day. Chances for a couple of passing showers and then gradual clearing into the evening. Things are looking great. I mentioned the wet weather coming through. We do have still some spotty showers and a little bit more out to the west. This is still going to find its way to Hampton Roads. So we're not done with the rain just yet, but there's nothing crazy going on out there. Just some scattered showers as we go through the late morning and into the early afternoon. So once this stuff moves out, look for the gradual clearing later today and tonight. For tomorrow, it's going to be a cooler day. Plenty of sunshine early. Temperatures in the low 50s here. And just a few high, thin clouds later in the day. That moves out. Chilly Friday morning. Temperatures in the upper 20s inland, low 30s closer to the coast. For those doorbusters, again, need to bundle up if you're going out early on Black Friday. Friday's highs only in the low to mid 40s, and we're going to get even chillier early into Saturday morning. Temperatures will be in the 20s for many areas. Right around 31 at the airport. We expect freezing Saturday morning. Temperatures today topping out in the low 70s across the south side. We've seen some scattered wet weather. We'll see some more chances here with clearing late in the day. Upper 60s for the peninsula, the middle peninsula, mid 60s on the eastern shore. Down into North Carolina, temperatures close to 70 at the Outer Banks. We'll see low to mid 70s for our inland areas. Again, some more showers out there for a little bit, but then clearing skies late. For tonight, the low near 41, chillier inland, many areas down into the 30s, and then tomorrow back up to 52. Lots of sunshine for your Thanksgiving, and then those cooler days. Black Friday, 45, 44 on Saturday. That freeze likely in the morning. Temperatures warmer Sunday and scattered showers Monday into Tuesday. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Weather Desk. I want to remind you, you can always take the 13 News Now mobile app with you. It's great to have, especially over the holidays. You can access all of the travel radars. You can take a look at our forecast, and if there's anything breaking with news, traffic, or weather, you'll get notified through the 13 News Now app. I want you to have safe travels and enjoy your holiday. We'll see you next time from the Weather Desk.